Sound speeds, and because we're dealing with sound, the key word here is listen. You must listen, otherwise, what in the world are you doing? Well, when you're listening in a studio environment to whatever you're mixing down, you're going to have your speakers, and by that I mean monitor speakers, set to somewhere between about 78 and maybe 87 decibels. Depending on the size of the studio and your personal preferences, you typically will set it somewhere in the mid-80s. But why aren't they listening to headphones? Well, very simply put, most of the time people don't listen on high-grade headphones, and they want to actually mix with speakers because, as a general rule, speakers are going to sound better than headphones, especially when it comes to consumers listening to the mixes that they're doing. But if you're a production sound mixer and you're out in the field and you have to listen to every single environment out there and you want to hear everything close to you without any outside interference and noise, you want to make sure you have very high quality headphones. Or you're like me and you spend about 15 hours a day on set and about 3 hours in your car commuting, and by the time you get home and edit something like, let's say YouTube videos, you want to make sure that you are listening to something with a very high quality headphone, because burning midnight oil is something you have to do when your family's asleep, and that's the only time you get to edit. Since I started this channel, I've been looking for some very high quality studio headphones that I can use not only in editing, but for location work and everything in between. But the quest for those is not as easy as you might think it is, because listening is a very unique experience. What sounds good to you may not sound good to other people. The more observant of you may have noticed that the first few videos I did on this channel, I was using Sennheiser headphones. And Sennheiser is a wonderful brand, don't get me wrong, but those on-ear headphones are not exactly what I'm looking for. Not just because they're on-ear, but because they're not exactly studio grade. So my pursuit for studio grade monitoring headphones was on. Ever since those first few videos, I've been using a pair of these Audio-Technica ATH M50x headphones. Now, they're not studio grade, but they are very fine headphones, and I've done a lot of casual listening with them. For purposes of this channel, though, I'm seeking absolute fidelity. I want to hear everything. I want to hear with the clarity that I can't find in something like these prosumer headphones. But I've always been a fan of Audio-Technica, and I wanted to find some headphones that would suit my needs. Well, wouldn't you know it, they happen to make some called the ATH M50x Pros. Now, these headphones here, you may realize, don't have a cable. Well, I'm going to get into that here in a second, but I'm not going to bother with doing an unboxing video. You can find those all over the internet. What I will show is the box. This is the box that they come in. Here's the side that says Audio-Technica. There's the back, and there's the other side. Here's this side. Here's this side. Now, we're done with that. Let's get into the actual headphones themselves, because that's the exciting part. The headphones themselves are extremely high quality headphones. They have a very good build quality. When you're not using the headphones, you can store them in this handy dandy Audio-Technica bag with a drawstring top. The ATH M50x headphones also have spinnable drivers. You can actually rotate the drivers all over the place independently, in addition to adjusting the size of the band to make sure that it fits on your head properly. One of my favorite features about this particular model of headphone, though, is that it comes with 3 different cables. One that's a straight cable that's 1.2 meters long, one that is a straight cable that is 3 meters long, and one that is a coiled cable that is between 1.2 and 3 meters long. It also comes with an adapter that adapts this standard connector that is a 1/8 inch stereo connector, and it adapts it to a 1/4 inch. Every length of headphone cable you could want is included right inside the box. DJs, for example, might want something that's around 4 feet long, while production sound mixers might want something that's a little bit longer, maybe even a coiled cable. So it's right there in the box, and it's absolutely awesome. And it's so easy to actually install the cable. All you do is you insert it, give it about 1/8 of a turn, and now it's locked in place. It's not going anywhere. To release, you twist it back the other way 1/8 of a turn, and you pull it out. It's that simple. Now, headphones are a very difficult thing to review because I can listen to it, but you can't. You're listening through either your device, headphones, earbuds, inner ear monitors, something. And whatever that is not going to hear the quality of the headphones themselves, because they are outputs, not inputs. If I were testing a microphone, for example, I could talk into the microphone, you could hear that, I could compare it to another one, you could hear that, and all is good. It sounds great. You can tell how it sounds. Headphones don't work that way. And YouTube is not exactly the easiest forum for me to say, you need to hear these headphones. Come find me in reality, or come find me on set, or leave your address in the comments section down below and I'll send them to you to review. This doesn't really work. So I thought it very fitting to test these headphones in a very similar way that engineers use when they're trying to calibrate their studio monitors, and that is to use a calibration microphone. This is a dead flat microphone that allows it to pick up every single sound of every single frequency at dead flat calibration accuracy. This calibration microphone is going to listen to exactly the way it sounds on the inside of the headphones and report that back to me. But what do I use to test it? Well, I'll use the same exact thing that engineers use when they calibrate their speakers in their mixing rooms. Pink noise. And just because I know there's going to be questions about this microphone, this is a Behringer ECM 8000. Now, hold on a second. I know what you're thinking. Behringer? Behringer, really? Well, believe it or not, this particular microphone has a very good rating for fidelity and quality of sound. It actually tests on par with $2,000 calibration microphones if you can get over the noise floor, and considering that I'm going to have the volume up a little on the high side, noise floor is not going to be an issue. In another video, I'll go into greater detail regarding my testing methods, but for our purposes today, what you need to know is that the headphone cups are going to hold the calibration microphone, and then it's going to be sandwiched together. I'm going to play pink noise through the headphones, and you're going to hear that through the calibration microphone, keeping in mind that we know the way that pink noise sounds. We do not know how these headphones sound, which is the reason why this calibration microphone is going to be so great for us here for this test. I play pink noise through the headphones, the calibration microphone picks it up, and then I record what that microphone picks up, and then we compare the waveforms of the two of them together. And just so you know, the recorder I use on this channel is a Sound Devices MixPre 6, and the plugin that I'm using inside of Reaper to compare these waveforms is Voxengo Span, and the links to both the MixPre 6 and the Voxengo Span plugin are located down there in the description. For comparison purposes, we're not just going to look at the frequency spectrum of the ATH M50x headphones and the pink noise separately, we're also going to look at them and compare them on a smoothed out frequency spectrum. Now, everyone knows what white noise is, right? Random frequencies at random energies. But pink noise is different. Every single octave has the same energy level. If you look at 20 hertz and you look at 40 hertz, the difference is 1 octave because it's doubled. And the energy it takes to produce that volume of sound at 20 hertz is identical to the energy level it takes to produce that sound at 40 hertz, and then at 80 hertz, and at 160 and 320. And every time the frequency doubles, the audio level changes. It takes more energy for a lower frequency to achieve a higher volume level than it does a higher frequency to achieve the same volume level. Freeze frame. This is what pink noise looks like on a frequency spectrum. Now let's smooth it out over a 1 octave interval, and you see it goes almost in a smooth line all the way up. Now compare that to the frequency spectrum that my calibration microphone picked up on the inside of the ATH M50x headphones. You'll see that it naturally gives a little more low end to it, and then it has a little bit of a boost near the high end as well. Now here's what it looks like when it's smoothed out over the same 1 octave interval. Now let's overlay the two smooth spectrums and compare them. So from this frequency spectrum comparison, you can see that the ATH M50x headphones actually give a little bit of a bass boost, peaking around 165 hertz, and then it cuts a little bit between about 400 to 600 hertz before adding it back in there and getting right around par around about the 4 to 5,000 hertz range. Now this, of course, is when the frequency spectrum is smoothed. Let's look at it raw for a second. Pink noise, you might notice in this spectrum, is not a straight line, and that's because it is never going to be. There's always going to be slight fluctuations just because of the nature of pink noise and the nature of sound in general. As you can see, the ATH M50x headphones, they jump up and down a little bit all throughout the whole thing. That's just the nature of waveforms. That's the way that it is. Okay, there's the frequency spectrum. Aren't you happy? Well, not really, because you can't exactly hear the headphones, can you? So what I'm going to do is put them on and listen to a few different things, and I'm just going to say the first thing that comes to mind regarding the quality while I'm listening to them. So before we begin, let me point out something. Audio-Technica has not paid me for my opinion. I can't be bought that way. I am not going to accept money in exchange for a favorable opinion. That said, let me listen to it and tell you what I think. Ooh, I feel immersed. Ooh, the low-end frequency response is really good. Ooh, that bass is rich. Ooh. Why haven't I bought a pair of these earlier? Man, The low end is really, really rich and it doesn't even distort. Like some headphones, you turn them up loud and they distort. These aren't doing that. And I'm listening to it pretty loud. It's almost borderline hurting my ears. Gosh, the vocals are really good. Now I'm going to listen to one of my favorite voiceover artists. Now, here's what I'm noticing. Although it has that little valley there and it cuts a little bit in the vocal frequencies range, I'm not really minding it. It does a really good job of boosting that low end. Geez, it's really weird. I know the pattern. I know the frequency pattern. We just got through looking at the spectrum. But I don't miss those low frequencies, or rather the mid frequencies. Geez, I hear everything. Okay, so now I'm going to listen to my audiobook. I don't miss those mid frequencies at all, at least on his voice. Let me listen to a female voiceover and we'll see. Man, you really do hear every single thing with these headphones. I can actually, on this voiceover artist that I'm listening to right now, I can hear every little bitty I hear everything. Even things I don't think she wants me to hear. I mean, her voice isn't as perfect as she seems to think it is. These headphones are so good that if you watch anything that's not produced in really high quality, you're probably going to be disappointed, even at some of your favorite things. Gosh, you hear the highs. Yeah, so both male and female voices sound really, really rich in these headphones. I don't feel like I'm missing any frequency at all. If I use these in editing for my own voice, I'm going to be like extremely critical, even more critical than I already am, because I'm going to hear so much. Yay, more time in editing. Now I'm listening to some music that actually has a lot of highs in it because it came from a record. Now, this one part of the music I was just listening to was only just highs. And the high-pitched stuff, if you're just listening to that and no bass to balance it, it sounds really, really overpowering almost. You know, that's the nature of high frequencies in general. It's not actually, I don't blame the headphones for that. Man. Now I'm starting to play one of my favorite royalty-free songs right now, so I can crank it up loud, and if you hear it, good for you. Wow. Come on, get to the chorus. I want to hear the chorus. Oh yeah, the lead female's voice sounds awesome. Well, if you crank them up as loud as I have them cranked up, then you're going to hear a lot through the side of the headphones. But then they are very much quieter than studio monitor speakers would be for me to edit with. Oh yeah. Now I'm going to listen to some sounds of nature like thunderstorms and stuff. I'm going to see how that sounds. Rain. Oh yeah, let's listen to rain. You know, if I fell asleep with these headphones on, I would think there's a storm. Dude, that sounds like a storm. That sounds like a storm. Sounds like I have a leak. Okay. So my impressions are, they are very high fidelity. They sound really good. And I know what you're going to be thinking here, that it does drop a little bit below the pink noise in the mids. I don't miss it at all. I really don't. They sound really, really good. I really want to know why I didn't get them earlier. Now, the ATH M50x headphones are of the same family as the ones I've been using on this channel, the ATH M30 headphones. The only difference is, of course, you see that I added these little ear muff things to it, and that's just because I like the feel of them. But I tell you, they don't actually feel bad by themselves. I'm used to the ear muff things on there, but I tell you, the quality of the headphones are so good. I'm going to start using these. I'm seriously, I'm not going to delay. Well, that's the wrong way. I need to put it on the right ear. Yeah, I'll definitely do this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to change over now. And these are going to be my new channel headphones. Oh. Yes, that's the way I sound, all right. Or at least I'm guessing that's the way it sounds. Man, now I'm going to be overly critical on my own voice. Jackdaws love my big sphinx of quartz. Packed my box with 5 dozen liquor jugs. The quick onyx goblin jumps over the lazy dwarf. How razorback jumping frogs can level 6 peaked gymnasts. That's the way I sound. I'm kind of disappointed in myself now. But I tell you, the headphones are really good. I mean, everybody else sounds wonderful, but me and my own ears... Well, the last thing I'll point out about these headphones is that the band on it is extremely strong. I mean, it pulls in really tight on my head. I mean, I've only been wearing them now for maybe 20 minutes or so listening to the different things, and it doesn't really bother me. As a matter of fact, I feel more immersed in the music, I guess, and the voices and everything I've been listening to simply because it's such high fidelity and it grabs me and pulls me in. And I guess because of the closed ear design of the headphones, you don't hear a lot of what's going on outside. You can hear through the headphones if you're listening on the outside of them. Like if I had music or something playing in there, I could hear through them. But that was only at like really loud volumes, which you don't really want to do anyway. But I tell you, these headphones sound really good. And I'm going to use them consistently on this channel now. So you just saw me pick out my new headphones that I'm going to be using for this channel. And so that is a couple of thumbs up here to the Audio-Technica M50x headphones. I really enjoy them. I like them. And I wish you could listen to them. I wish I could say, like I said before, put your address in the comment section down below and I'll send them to you. But I don't want to. I want to keep them and listen to them myself. So on that note, take care, and I'll see you next time for another episode of Sound Speeds and some more sound advice. Have a question you'd like answered or want to add something? Be sure to write it in the comment section down below. You can also make a suggestion for future topics of discussion. Again, comment section down below, or you can email me at soundspeeds@yahoo.com. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss out on future sound advice.